so freaking cool. That is so
know.
amazing.
Isn't it?
I've never thought, I always look at dreams and I'm like, what? But then just the more questions you were asking, all of a sudden it was just like clear, like just a clear sentence appeared and I almost knew what it was.
Hi, this is Lady T, and welcome back to a bonus episode of I Believe in Jesus, but where in this bonus episode, you get to listen in on a dream interpretation session. Now, why am I doing this? One reason that I'm doing this special bonus episode is because religious people tend to see things from one extreme end or the other. Everything is either of God or the devil. And so they never actually acknowledge that middle ground. That middle ground, your subconscious mind. That middle ground, the divine wisdom that is within you. The middle ground, the divine power that you have within you. We tend to step outside and look outside of ourselves. There are some things you don't have to ask a doctor. You don't have to ask validation. You don't have to even ask your pastor. There are some things that you know and you should know. And when it comes to dreams, God has a way of speaking to us through our subconscious, and you know the answer to that. Now, sometimes it takes talking with a professional. Sometimes it takes someone asking you the right questions in order to tap into it. But you have the answers to everything that you need. So the second reason that I'm doing this is to remind you of that. Everything you need to succeed in this life has been given to you already. You have all spiritual blessings that you need. You have all physical, material blessings that you need in order to move on to the next level. I won't even go into that. In order to move on to the next level, you have everything that you need. So that's the other reason for doing this bonus episode. Let's get into it.
Hi, Stephanie. Thank you for joining me on the call.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you sharing your dream with me. I haven't heard the dream, and so I'm really interested in hearing.
Okay. So this dream happened about maybe a month and a half or a month ago.
Okay.
And basically I'm in a pool and the water was clean and calm, but the scenery was dark, like kind of nighttime. So it felt like like very mysterious kind of energy.
Okay.
And then someone who I have a traumatic relationship with. So this person violated me when I was younger, and they jumped at me towards the dream. And when they like came towards me, almost to like grab me, I plugged my nose and fell backwards into the water. And it was almost like the water became like the ocean, in the fact that it was like never ending, like it was just pitless. And I kept sinking through, almost like in that Get Out scene when he's just going back and falling into the abyss, and just very calmly. But yes, so I was just falling in the water, floating down, and I could see above me like his shadow and like the shadow of two other like entities on above me, trying to reach for me, but they really couldn't grab me. And I just kept sinking, and for the most part I was in peace and aware of like my surroundings, but overall it was like calm, but still kind of nervous, you know?
Okay. And that's the end of it?
Yep. That's it.
The person who violated you, how long ago was that?
Almost 10 years.
And have you confronted the person?
To some degree, my mother knows about it, and it's been like aired out. But it's kind of a weird relationship because family is complicated, and all I can say is that we are on talking terms, but I've never had a conversation with that person about the situation. Okay. But it's been talked about within my family.
Okay. So you know that you've talked about it with family members, and he knows that it's been talked about, but the two of you have never talked about it.
Correct.
So what was going on a month ago that made this dream come forth?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Because how often do you dream about him? I'm assuming it's a him.
Yes, it is a him.
How often do you dream about him?
The last time I dreamt about him was when I was maybe like 23, so maybe like 3 years ago.
Okay.
3 years ago, about. And I feel like the dreams were a lot scarier for me. I felt a lot more nervous and a lot more helpless in the dreams. I didn't feel that as helpless in this one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 years ago, you had the dream, and when did you have the conversation with your mom and other family members?
Let's see. When I was like 16, so 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 9 years ago.
Okay. Alrighty. So when it happened, you almost immediately told? Did you hold it?
I guess I'm my timing is off. I thought it was 10 years ago, but I guess it must have been 14 years ago, because it started when I was like about 11 and 12.
Okay. And so you told when you were how old?
16.
Okay.
And it finished when I was about 14. So it didn't go on for too long, but it was long enough to where it was like over a couple of years.
Okay. So at 16, and then you didn't start dreaming about him until just about 3 years ago.
Did I already say about the dreams when I was like 20? Yeah. Actually, yes. This was after I dealt with all the I think I dealt with all the trauma, right? And of like airing it out and all that stuff. And then, yes, I didn't start having dreams until, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago or so, where I would wake up very panicked, and it would be repetitive dreams of like my mom abandoning me essentially, and me calling out, and nobody was there to help.
Okay. And you said you were 28 3 years ago?
I'm 25. I think my math is just...
Okay. So 3 years ago, you would have been 22.
Yeah, so around that time. Yes, like
Okay.
22, 23, something like that.
All right. So 3 years ago, you started dreaming about it, feeling abandoned. So what was going on 3 years ago that started that to come forth?
I don't know. I guess
you have to go back, Stephanie, because you do know the answer to it. You just have to pause for a second. So 3 years ago, you were 22 years old. You were what? Finishing college, going into college?
I was very much in like a stuck stage. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. So I would just I wouldn't finish school. So I would take classes and drop out. I had just gotten in a relationship as well with my boyfriend of the still.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So at that time you were stuck, and the dreams were showing themselves as helpless, not receiving help, feeling abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
And in your real life, you were stuck.
Yes, all those things. Helpless, feeling abandoned, feeling like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Okay, all righty. And so I would imagine that, the conscious and the subconscious playing together, one playing off the other, you were stuck and not able to move forward because you needed to deal with that, or it was surfacing for some reason. But we're not going to go that far back, because that would make me a psychiatrist, and I'm not. So we're not doing that. Just understanding how the brain processes. But again, okay, so a month ago, what happened? Let's go back 2 months ago. So a month ago was January, you had this dream. So let's go back to December. Did you see the person during the holidays? Did you start having conversations in December?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't see my family personally in December. We were with my boyfriend's family.
Okay.
In January, though, I had the intention of going over to my mother's house, and I saw them then. But I can't remember if the dream was after or before I saw him. Now that I'm like thinking about it. Because when I did see him, there was like a fight between my mom and I that he was kind of there for, but I can't remember if it was before or after the dream.
Okay. All right. That almost doesn't matter. So what happened? What happened? Whether the dream happened before or after that, it doesn't matter. What happened with that fight that you and your mom had and your interaction with him in particular?
Well, I said something supposedly disrespectful, and my family, specifically my sister, was like, Stephanie, and then my mom also chimed in. And I basically felt like they betrayed me in a sense where they were like defending him and not really listening to me when I didn't really say anything that was very disrespectful at all.
All right. And so how did you feel after all of that took place? Like by the time you went back home?
I was very sad, and I had like cried, and I remember just being like, ugh, I don't feel supported. But then I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I guess that also, even though I cried and I didn't feel supported, I did to some degree felt like okay within myself, if that makes sense. Like it's almost like I was accepting it. Yes. And like just being like, okay, like it is what it is.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. That's what your dream is telling you.
Right. I could see, I'm like,
right?
I feel like, yes, because I feel like in the dream, I was feeling like, okay, the energy is there and I could see it coming at me, but I felt like I could sink almost into myself. Yes. Or the water that is like safe for me, because water is like a safe place for me. Like when I'm in the ocean or I'm taking a bath, I feel really comfortable. We could even go as far as like womb, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that, and I can almost see maybe it's like almost saying like my like I'm being okay within myself, you know what I mean? And like my maybe like the environment that I'm creating for myself, and even though like maybe people that I feel, entities that are not as necessarily on the same vibration as me coming at me, I have that like protection.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. You took the matter in your own hands. He wasn't able to touch you. You wouldn't let him touch you. You sunk into yourself. It's like, it is what it is. I got this. I'm calm, cool, collected. I'm where I need to be. And that yet he's still there. Now, who are the other two entities on the side of him?
Well, interesting. We were just talking about my sister and my mom, who I had an argument with. So that would make sense. And I was saying how I was feeling like they don't back me up, and they kind of are just like, yeah, like they don't have my back.
Yes.
But they're supposed to be people that do have my back and that are comfortable.
Yes. Yeah,
that makes total sense.
See there?
I know, that was like, I feel like you were pulling it out, but I was like, where is this going? But yes, I totally see that now. And like, I feel so comfortable, because at first I was like, what does this mean? Like, you know, why am I dreaming this? Because I did feel peaceful, but then at the same time, I'm like, how is this peaceful if this like traumatic person is coming up in the dream? But like, now that you're like pretty much explaining it, and, you know, like pulling the questions out, I can see like, okay, yes, I can totally see that being that, like that interpretation applying.
Exactly. So did you make up a decision at some point within the last month? I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to talk to them, him. Have you made a decision about what you're going to do in the relationship?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. That's so interesting.
So what was your decision? What have you decided?
Well, yeah, it was that. Like, I basically decided that I didn't want to spend time with them on the holidays, that I didn't want to go see them immediately after, they came back from their trip, because they went on a trip for like a month. I didn't want to see them immediately after. So I was like almost like saving myself and my energy, because I knew it was going to be like what it always is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even though it even came out like that, like almost like he tried to reach for it, you know what I mean? Like the energy tried to come for me when I was there.
Yes.
I was able to still, even though I cried and all of those things, like I still felt safe when I went home. And I was like, well, at least I get to go home and be in my house, and just be separated. And I was able to feel like not destroyed how I might have been like a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. Good. And so your crying, I would be represented by the fact that the dream was dark. The pool was clear, it was calm, but it was dark. It was like nighttime. So there's some sadness to it. There was some disappointment about it. But at the same time, you were in complete control about how they were going to interact with you. You kept control of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so crazy.
And it wasn't just him, it was your mom and your sister as well.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it amazing how your subconscious will talk to you and you don't even know?
Literally, yes, that is crazy.
So you have, so basically what your subconscious is saying is that you have complete control and you are in control, and it is okay, and it is what it is, and it's time to move forward.
Yes, I love that.
And
damn.
So on a conscious, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, damn, like I'm like shocked.
So on a certain level, you already made that decision anyway, to a certain degree. But I can almost guarantee you that if you hadn't talked through, Stephanie, what would have happened, in the future, 2 weeks from now, next holiday, whatever, they'll say, come together, and you'll respond in your regular way, panic for a few days, going back and forth for a couple of days, trying to decide if you should or you shouldn't, talking it over with your boyfriend, being angry, remembering what happened the last time y'all got together and your mom and your sister went off. You'll have that same habitual response. But now that you've talked this through, you don't even have to go there anymore. That now ends. That's over. That is over. And so you just make the decision. You know what? I will meet them there, but his energy will not touch me. I'll meet them. I'm only staying for 10 minutes and then I'm leaving. Or I don't want to see them at all. I'm not going. This time I won't go. I'll go the next time. So now you get to make a completely different decision without falling into your habitual response.
Okay. That makes so much sense. And I can see that. I can see that happening. I feel like I'm much more in control, even just through having that conversation.
Yes.
That is so amazing. That was so, I'm still like, lost for words is the word.
Yeah, there are no words when you are processing, because there's a processing that's going on right now as you make the shift. And so this is what happens. This is what's happening. Your conscious and your subconscious are now connecting so that you can carry it out. So one of the things that I would suggest, you say water is your safe space. When was the last time you went swimming?
It's been a while. It's winter.
You don't have like a YMCA or a place you can go and swim?
You know what? I have to check if they have like an indoor pool for YMCA. I do have to check that because I don't really know.
Okay. Are you a member?
No.
Okay. All right. What's another way? Water is your safe space. What's another way you can enjoy yourself in water, even though it's wintertime?
A bath, I feel like that would actually even be warm, you know, a foot soak.
Okay, good. So this is to help make that connection, solidify that connection. This is a way of supporting. Your subconscious is you, but it's also a separate entity altogether. You know, we have all these beings in us. And so a way of letting your subconscious know, I got it. Thank you for giving it to me. I heard you. I'm supporting you. I'm supporting me. I am 100% in alignment with taking care of myself. The way to do that is to connect on the outside, connect in your real life, what happened in your dream life. So take a bath and go underneath the water. And as you go underneath the water, you know, you give words of praise and thanks and release and let go and just gratefulness, forgiveness, you know, just under the water, just say what feels right to release and to make that connection. I support myself. I love the revelation. Thank you for giving me that revelation. Yeah, talk yourself through it.
Wow.
I'm in 100% control. Thank you for giving me the control. I forgive. I let go. I release. I speak up when it's time to speak up. All of that underwater.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I know that water holds like an energetic vibration. So if I'm speaking those in there, it's just even more powerful. Very cool. Very cool.
And put some salt water, put some Epsom salt or some Himalayan salt, rock salt in your water as well. That's part of that ocean water.
Okay.
That you're in.
I might suck it up and just go to the ocean.
Ooh, it's cold. Go ahead.
Do you? Go ahead.
Do you? I'm cold. Just you're saying that gave me the shivers. I would go to the Y and just give them $25 and let me come in for the day. But yes, whatever feels right. The point is to make that connection with your dream life and your waking life, to connect them together, to solidify and give yourself a solid, what's the language I want to use? To give yourself some solidity.
Yeah, like it happened in like the astral world, and then it's like coming down in the physical world and like solidifying it.
Exactly.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
so freaking cool. That is so amazing.
Isn't it?
I've never thought, I always look at dreams and I'm like, what? But then just the more questions you were asking, all of a sudden it was just like clear, like just a clear sentence appeared and I almost knew what it was. It felt like you just knew exactly intuitively what to ask to just pull out everything that needed to come out. And it was changed my life. Like I said, I've never had it done before, but I felt it was life-changing. Like you said, I feel like I leveled up. Now that I understand that, I'm like, wow, I am the boss that I think I am. I have mastered that. And I needed that like reassurance, you know, that like, just a solidification. Yes. And I feel like because you were able to make that connection for me from my subconscious to my conscious, like you said, I'm just ready to level up.
Yes. Yeah. And that helps to avoid the going back and doing the same thing. That's what would happen. We know that we're the boss, but we still have that habitual behavior because we don't know for sure I'm the boss. For sure.
Right. And that just solidifies the message for me. Yes. Like, yes, like the universe is telling you, you know it.
Yes.
I love that. That was so amazing. I really love that you kind of gave me the power instead of kind of, you know, doing it like you pulled it out of me and it made me feel empowered. Now I feel like I can do this. Like I can interpret my dreams. You know what I mean? Like I can speak to my subconscious or my subconscious can speak to me and my conscious can like receive it and understand it and apply it. You said, I'm ready to move on to the next phase. Like what? No need to worry about that anymore.
Right.
And I love.
Go ahead.
I love how you interpreted or told me to do all those things underneath the water. That was really special and made me feel like, yes, that really makes me connect to that dream, it makes me really like solidify those feelings of safety and like within myself.
Right. And the power of that is to connect your conscious and your subconscious, your dream world with your real world. It's a way of supporting, acknowledging, I heard you and I am supporting you. I heard me, my wisdom, and I'm supporting me and my wisdom.
Yeah. Mind-blowing stuff.
Thank you so much for that call, Stephanie. Wasn't that fascinating? You know, there are some things that will always amaze me, like flying. I fly at least 100 times a year, and no matter how many times I'm on the plane, I never allow it to escape me, the magnificence of being in the clouds. And so it's the same thing even when it comes to dream interpretations. No matter how many times I talk to people, I hear the stories, no matter how many years I do this, I am still amazed at the power of the mind. It is there to support you and help you every single time if you know how to tune into it. And did you notice Stephanie knew the answer to her dreams? Did you notice that? I didn't lead her along. I prodded her with certain questions, and those questions led her to her own answer. Did you notice that? Yes. Let me remind you, you always have the answer in you. Always. Sometimes it takes talking to someone, talking it through, talking with the right someone who is professional or spiritual enough to be able to help you to navigate through it. And so if you need that, feel free to contact me. You can always go to my website, heavenandearthconnect.com. There you can click a link so that you can schedule an appointment to speak with me. I will gladly help you navigate the crevices of your subconscious mind. It's my pleasure. In the meantime, stay tuned to another bonus episode where you will again be allowed to listen in on a dream interpretation session. This is Lady T.